welcome to the stream. Another day. We're going to be doing some market updates. I'm Sam, and welcome to another day. Yesterday was a pretty eventful day. As we can see, let's get over to the charts and do some explaining. Yeah, just make sure. All right, so yesterday, damn. What a day. So I believe I made my my live stream yesterday right about this time, and at that point I thought that we were just going to be hovering around here and then we would head lower. The market structure at the time had been trending downwards. This was actually quite a large move that we had made for the past 2 days, and based on the volume, it was pretty low volume where we had come down to. I mean, these are low volume days. It was not like some of these high volume days. So, we had started to come back up a little bit, and I should have taken note after the first, on this third candle right here. And I was watching here, actually. If we go down to the hourly, this is what I was watching. We came up, kind of, let me turn off the trend line as well, too, because it's not what I was watching. I was watching session volume, and we're going to have to go down to a 30-minute. So let's do that, actually. So I'm watching session volume yesterday because we had a general just down move throughout the day. Then Bitcoin made a new low down here. There wasn't too much volume though. Almost touched. Wait, this is Ether, isn't it? All right. So Bitcoin made the new low, right? Very low volume trading all the way down. Then was just trading around this 3,700 area all throughout the day. We entered into the next day, and I thought that we were going to come up to the top of the value area here and then just kind of come back down. And so I had actually, I was watching the liquidity area, and there was nothing above. There was nothing in the 3,800 area. And I had particularly been watching about this 3,750 levels. So when the market came up and it just blew through, look at that, like low liquidity blew through, ate through all the orders at 3,750, and just kept moving all the way up to 3,800. I exited right around here, about 30, just right at 3,800 on the dot, because that was where my stops were. For ETH, it was even more of an up move. I mean, I really should have been watching ETH through the day, because ETH had come down and it had been rotating around its these levels at about 125, which I was pretty happy at. Then it came up and it peaked at here at 127, and that was okay, and came back down. And I had expected a touch of, was it like 131, and then to come back down, but what I did not expect was for us to blow straight through up to 133 and then continue to move up to 136 and then peaked out at 141. It really just a big day, like a very big rejection. So now look at the, I think we're going to bar down, and I may actually go place a trade for this, because look at all the liquidity building down here, and we're kind of trending down. I think we're going to bar down into about this 3760 area. I don't think there's anything more on top. You can see that there was nothing here on tensor charts. There was some liquidity at 3750, which is what I was watching, but really the liquidity to be found and where we ended up was back at 3,800. So I think at some point during the day, it's more telling on Bitcoin, right? I think we're going to come back down. What was that 3,750 area right here? 3,750 would be a good place. And we're already starting to see some sell-off on ETH. What I would want to see is a breakdown below 134.70 out of the value area, to see if we can get continued. Because look, here's the test that we had, right? Let me turn on this so we can zoom in over here. So in the 2 days, right, we had a continuous activity up and formed a new point of control here for yesterday's session at 127.80, and then we pushed up, and then we had two other points of control which tried to take out the original on the beginning of the session, but weren't able to. And so, that just shows that it was very low volume when we came up. It was just a very quick push through all the orders up into this low volume area where we've been trading through ever since. So what I would like to see is, we've had two rejections here. So here's one absorption candle. Here's another absorption candle. That means that there's bids up, or sorry, there's asks up here. They're just waiting in this pretty much above 138.44. Probably people coming in to reshort, because if we take a look at the 12 hourly, right, we had to move down, come back up, and now I think there could be a possibility of a reshort, because there was that very strong rejection. Pretty much anything above this 150 level is no go. I mean, look at that, just no volume above, and it was quickly pushed back. So the high volume area, again, point of control is at this 136. I don't think we could have the strength to push back up to 150 and this 144 area. It's just too much. So I think that we're going to come back down. We're gonna test the lows again that we made at 122. That would make more sense to me. Because if we can find a similar pattern with this dip, I was looking at it a while back, where we get a big up move. This had a bigger absorption candle here, but then we get this slow kind of sell off, and then finally the bar down. This is the 12 hourly though. I don't think that we're going to see it today. Usually the bar takes about 2 days to form, as the longs are taken off here, and then the shorts, which I believe have been creeping up. Yeah, so shorts have been creeping up at this level just a little bit, not anything considerable, but they are up 625 BTC today. Yeah, so definitely got caught out a little bit yesterday. Nobody likes to be stopped out. I really thought that we were going down to that 120 area. We still might. See, this is the new, let's bring up the new area. So the new area is like, if we start to trade down through 38.10, there's all of this to fill. You can see that this is a very low volume area that we went through. And let me just drag a ray, or actually a trend line. Yeah. What did I say? 38.10. Yeah. So anything under here, it's about 35, isn't it? Right. So this is that, and then really, I don't know if I'm ready to short yet, but if it would be above this range. So this is the range that I'm looking at here. If we want to talk about like market structure, let me see. So it's worrying that we're seeing another dip in the stochastic RSIs and the hourly. This could bottom out, and then we get another push. Yeah, look at the stochastics. They were already starting to push up through there. Same thing through here. Should have been a big warning sign yesterday. After they flipped up to here. So now we're seeing them come back down again, but I think it's a little bit too early. I'm not doing anything until there's some confirmation of either this up move, so we get more selling through here, flat for the next few days, or we get another push down. Let's take a look at the 2-day. So the 2-day, you could make the argument that this was an intermediate bottom. We're starting to see lots of volume come in. This is actually a big increase in volume. What does it say? This is on ETH. Let me go back to BTC. So BTC volume has been decreasing. It's over the past few days, but ETH volume has been increasing and it's still increasing. So take off this and yeah, okay. So with ETH volume increasing still, starting to see a small decrease now. This is a lower volume day. It could mean that we could push up, but again, I think it's too early to say. Litecoin is on the move again. I talked about this yesterday, but it's been a rocket ship, and I don't see it coming down anytime soon. Really, I mean, the halvening is coming, so the price should go up over the next 4 or 5 months until the halvening comes. Actually, I don't know where an LTC halvening is, but it's coming soon. Let's take a look at tensor charts. Again, I want to look at the ETH liquidity. So the BitMEX liquidity is everything down. ETH liquidity is also down as well. Look, I mean, there is some here at 144, but really you can see that the bids have been coming up to chase it, which maybe just shows that previously. Let me go to a 1 hour chart. Right. So previously we had a lot of bids down here in this 120 area, but then we pushed up and they've all come up. So now there's a lot of bids in, what is it, between 131 and 135. That would kind of coincide if we push down all the way to 130, where the previous with that 370 or 3750 area for BTC. Up top, if we do move, it would be in this kind of 144, 146 is where is showing on the heat map. Now, bear in mind, this doesn't cover everything. It only does a 5% move either way, so it can be limited. Let's check out Bitfinex ETH. Yeah, so that would be like the 145 area on Bitfinex up at 150. I wanted to talk about this headline. So blockchain analytics firm Chain Analysis outlines user data policy amid Coinbase allegations. I was talking about this yesterday. This Neutrino group, which had been doing, many of the staff had been part of the hacking. What is it called? The hacking team. Yeah. Contentious software firm hacking team will transition out of the new rules of the exchange. So during the fallout from it, so delete Coinbase actually came out of it, which is a funny thing, because Coinbase is turning into essentially the Facebook of crypto, which is not a good thing. Selling client information, and this is what it's actually about. So Coinbase acquired Neutrino, and then Neutrino was found to have a bunch of staff members who were part of the hacking team who were involved in a bunch of finding information and data on government opposition people who were then put into jail. And so later, after that, Coinbase came out and made a statement and said that it had looked in Neutrino and switching to them because they had already had an issue with one of their previous vendors who were selling the data. So now Chain Analysis, who's one of the highest profile firms in the Blockchain Intelligence Agency, came out and made a statement saying that they do not sell their clients' data. So somebody that is working with Coinbase is selling their clients' data, because they wouldn't have made the statement that they switched over from one of their vendors to a new one because of the data policies. I wouldn't recommend it ever using Coinbase. They're probably the most restrictive company when it comes to your crypto. They don't give you immediate access to it. If you've done anything through them, you'll probably know that you have to wait weeks when you first sign up to get your Bitcoin, to actually withdraw it. Now you can use another thing like Cash App or Kraken or any of the other major exchanges to go in and be able to purchase crypto without any major restrictions. Plus, they've been implementing a lot more features into their platform, which are not coherent with the ethos of the crypto community at large. So they want to put all your private keys into the cloud, which, of course, I mean, they'll say that they have the proper data security there. But you know, it's if you don't own your private keys and you don't have them and have full control over them, then there's always a possibility you could lose them, and then you would lose your access to whatever kind of crypto you had. The other thing I wanted to talk about, so with Coinbase, oh man, I know that they're trying to establish a monopoly in the market in the United States, which makes sense. I mean, if you want to be the one go-to place to buy Bitcoin, because it's very difficult to get set up in the United States. But at the same time, the company ethos are more aligned with trying to have secondary usage of their clients' information, to use that for other types of purposes, whether it's through advertising or through different money-making ventures, where the user's information is not kept intact. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that Facebook won't keep your two-factor phone number truly private. So I got I got a notification from Facebook today. It's telling me that I had been a member for 12 years. So on March 6, 2007, I signed up for Facebook at the time. I was just getting out of the military. I was still in, and so I used it because it was finally open. You know, my sister was the first one that I ever knew that signed up for Facebook. She was in university at the time, and she got access to it, and she had access to it for like 2 years. And so I would like see it and see all the cool pictures that the kids are putting up, and you know, it looked like a really fun place because it was only for you and your friends at uni, and nobody else was actually using it. Then they got rid of the requirements that you had to have a university password, and they opened it up to regular users like myself. And so I created an account. I don't think my parents were on there for 2 years, I think, before they created their account, which kind of signaled the end of all the fun that was to be had on Facebook. I mean, previously it was just a platform where you could share all your stupid photos of you and your friends, and now it's kind of morphed into this advertising machine that just streams advertisements to you like over and over and over again. And I've really noticed that the amount of advertisements that I get just deluged with on Facebook like every single day is really, it seems like it's growing a lot. So this will be the last year. I don't think I'm gonna hit a 13th year using Facebook. I don't really see a point of it anymore. Twitter does a great job of being very simple. I mean, I guess I have issues with the fact of these platforms, especially actually it's pretty much all tech platforms, taking positions against people, essentially political positions against people, to deny access to their services to people who they don't like or doesn't match their ethos. The private companies, they can obviously they don't have to offer their services to everybody, and they can specifically choose who they want on their platform. But at this point, I would almost make the point that these platforms, these social platforms, are no longer private anymore. That they're public. That they're a means to public speech. In that, on Twitter, you have so many people on there who can come and follow people and be able to find out different information, that that censoring people from these types of platforms really takes away their ability to speak freely. That they could raise issues or highlight abuse or do anything else that is on the platform, and shutting these people down or monitoring them or treating them just as another way to serve ads to them, I think really devalues the actual product. And I think you've seen this in Facebook quite a bit. Facebook.com engagement is way down, and the only reason that they've been able to actually, let's take a look at the stock price. Let's take a look at Facebook. So I've seen Facebook usage, and it's way down. But their one saving grace is that they bought Instagram way back in the day, and yeah, I mean, that's what's been keeping them going. If you look at the metrics of how many people log into Facebook a day and how much time they spend, it's been eclipsed majorly by Instagram. So yeah, I'll be deleting Facebook this year. I also think that you should delete Facebook as well too. I mean, they only care about tracking every single thing that you do. You should really delete everything Facebook from your phone as well too, because they'll track you in the background, and then send all of your information off so that advertisers can come and provide revenue to them to run ads to you in a highly targeted way. It's really scary to think that here's an algorithm that's built just to identify what you like and what you don't like, and then serve ads to you in a way where Facebook can then take in more money and grow. I think it kind of skews the point of what these platforms were built for versus who's actually the important customer now. For Facebook, I mean, the users are no longer important. They're just a commodity that can be replaced. Facebook is now built for the advertisers who then can come and advertise on the platform. It's the advertisers who give all the money to Facebook so that they can serve ads, right? And obviously some people are making money because they keep getting paid more and more money on it year to year. So I don't want to talk too much about the stock. Let's go back to BTC. So here's another instance. Like, look, here we had a big daily candle, and then we had 2 days later a nice big sell-off. So this kind of fits the profile of what I'm thinking for what comes. So let's go back. So Facebook won't keep your two-factor number truly private. So if you sign up for Facebook with your phone, there's nothing that you can do to refuse to allow users to opt out of being found by their phone number when those digits were only supplied for two-factor authentication. So it's a really annoying feature. So there's no actual way to hide your phone number, which means that anyone who has your phone number can then find your Facebook profile. So they used phone numbers for ad tracking. So they tie in your phone number from other things that you sign up for, and then they can, again, better serve you ads. Yeah, so everything is built to sell ads, but it's a middle finger to InfoSec. It says violet blue. So you don't need to offer up a phone number to engage two-factor authentication. You can use Google Authenticator and do a security, but that was only before the rules were changed. Now you can only do it with phone number, so really unfortunate. I think Facebook's going to continue to get bad press and will continue to falter, but they have Instagram, which makes them a lot of money. So they have the hot platform, which everybody wants to use. That's going to wrap it up for the live stream today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to make a course coming up on price action. I want to go over actually how to look at a look at a chart and understand what's going on. Pretty much, we're gonna tie in price action with volume profile and market profile to get a really good understanding of how markets move from day to day, and what the driving forces up and down are, and how you can start to read markets better, especially intraday, and try to figure out how to be able to place the best trades that you can. So we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have the course done for some time later this week. All right, see you later.